goodness. Hello, Deep Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream, coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. Folks, very lovely to be here with you. Hello, Amused Dave. Hit me in the chat ASAP. Where are you at? What are you grateful for? I'm in Brooklyn. What am I grateful for? My tooth aligners. Folks, I'm finally getting my teeth straightened. I decided after many years of thinking about it, looking at myself in the camera and saying, it looks like my teeth are all fighting each other. I now have modern, advanced, invisible tooth straighteners. So I didn't think until this very moment I was going to mention that or ever say that that was happening, but apparently that I did. So that's now in reality. Aaron, welcome from India. First-time viewer, folks. If you're a first-time viewer here, we have a very special way of welcoming you. Anyone who's been here for a little while knows that we have a very special way of welcoming you, and will immediately join in as per usual. Welcome, Aaron from India. Lovely to be here with you as always. Thanks for joining us. Yes, indeed. Okay, great. Let's see. And thank you, our longtime members who know the drill, who know the score. Welcome, Andy from. Aaron from India. Andy from Queens says grateful for you, from me, for you. Maybe he's talking to Aaron. So Aaron, Andy here is grateful for you. Providing us this stream. Oh, okay, well, it's probably me then. Welcome, Amused Dave says. Dave, you're new enough that you don't know the tradition. Dave's new but old. Dave's a solid member, but is also hasn't been here long enough maybe to see when new people come. They get barraged with a whole field of friendly emojis. Welcome, Just Andy. Welcome, Just Andy, but also welcome, Amused Dave and Aaron. Okay, I think we did that for you as well, Amused Dave. I think so. Okay. India is much less exotic. Indiana. It's Lexia attacks again. Indiana, yes. Well, I mean, it's sort of like a portal from one to the X. I wonder what the etymology is between the two. Indiana. Someone's trying to get in somewhere. Okay. Let's see here. Let me scooch over a tiny bit. Okay. So, do you have any advice on how to choose best options? Best options of what? Best options. I don't know. You mean best options of which emoji to spam in the chat whenever there's a new visitor here? Like our friend Aaron from Indiana. I'm mildly glad that you're from Indiana, because often if somebody joins us from somewhere really like not in our sphere, India or whatever, like where's like Malaysia or something, they'll be on the stream for a little while and be like, this is not the Buddhism I expected. This isn't even necessarily Buddhism. One part of me wants to relax on Friday and learn about crypto. Other part wants to achieve enlightenment and fully discover myself. Excellent. Okay. Dave is asking a parts question. In other words, this is a internal family systems questions. You have different drives. We actually have a video on this topic. If you look in our YouTube channel on procrastination, there's a video that Raquel made on this very topic, so I can go into it in some detail, but she has like a 4-part thing. It's like all broken down into like real clear parts and stuff, so it's good. So what I would say is I encourage you to check out that video, and we'll go from there. So folks, let me here put my phone on go to hell mode, and we're going to meditate. We're going to meditate here for 25 whole minutes. If that sounds terrifying, if that sounds like, how on earth could I possibly do that? Don't worry, you can do it. It'll be fun, and you'll probably have quite the experience by the end. So, look, take a moment now as I drink lemon water. Excuse me. Decide now, how long do you want to stay for the meditation? Do not deviate from your decision, no matter how terrible my guided meditation is. Now, don't deviate, because if you're thinking about if I should stay or go, that thought is going to fester and just go, and it'll just pull you out of the meditation. So decide now, how long would you like to stay? As long as it's not a terrible meditation. But it is, folks, I forgot to mention, can we try manifestation today? Oh, God damn it. You ask me about this all the time. I don't really do manifestation. If I were to do manifestation, okay, I want other people. Today's Freaky Friday. Whatever challenges, difficulties, questions, quandaries, queries, comments, or life concerns you have, put them in the chat, and we're going to design a custom meditation for you, as long as it's not manifestation. No, I'm just kidding. Let me think. Okay, any other requests or comments or queries about other challenges you're having, put those in the chat, and we're going to make a meditation about that. But if I were to do manifestation, see, I have aspects of things where you project yourself into a more ideal experience, but that's like a loving kindness practice, where you're just experiencing the world through that filter. Ooh, okay. See, that's the other thing, is that I do like a tantric type manifestation, which tantric doesn't mean what most people think it means. It technically just means text, but basically like a mandala type practice. Okay, we could do a mandala practice. We could also do not just mandala. It's funny because that's mandala practice, and then there's also the mandala, like where you step into the mandala. Okay, we're going to do, I want more requests, other things that people want to work on, because there's another practice we can do, which is like a kind of deity yoga practice, which is quite lovely. And it's a kind of manifestation. So if I were to say, look, somebody really wants to do manifestation, and I would give instruction, I would say, the basic standard stuff. Picture the thing that you want. Picture yourself having that thing. This might be a good exercise. Picture yourself really having that thing, having that exist in your life, really being present in your life. And then maybe we'll do this. This might be fun. Look for any parts of yourself that are like resisting that thing. And then work with those parts, see what they need. Okay. Dave, you've convinced me. This is totally worthwhile. I also take that out. It's really hard to talk. It's one of the problems is it makes it harder to talk. It also kind of cuts my tongue a little bit. And the thing is, I'm talking all day long, so I don't know how that's going to work. So here's what the practice is going to be today, unless I decide to change it right in the middle. We're going to pick one thing, and I want you to pick it now, because the mind will be sort of churning and churning, trying to think of the right thing. So you're going to pick one thing. It's a way of being or living in the world that you would like to have more of in the new year. We'll make this a New Year's meditation. So in the new year, I'd like to be more loving. I'd like to be more free. I'd like to be more, whatever it is, one adjective. Caring. I'd like to be more famous, if that's important to you. I'd like to, whatever the thing would be. Pick an adjective. And we're going to be envisioning that coming into place. What's going to happen is two things. One part of us, obviously, since we picked it, is going to want that and say, oh yeah, I want to move in that direction. And then what's going to happen naturally is other parts that have resistance to that are going to arise. The point of this meditation is not to have the good feelings and the positive things and then get rid of the other ones. It's to actually have the, positive feelings and to address the other ones, which is a big deal, because people usually in meditation, they're like, okay, the good thoughts are good, and those other thoughts, your fear, all that stuff, get rid of it. Just stuff it down. Very bad idea. We have a whole society. We can look around how well that's working, stuffing down our fear and our anger and those things. This is what we get. So we're going to open up to those things, and we're going to work with them from a kind of internal family systems theory perspective. So find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain, because this is what's called a nurture positive meditation. We're not just observing our current moment sensing. We're going to be actively engaging in that. You can actually move the body. You don't want to be so fidgety, so you want to do a little bit of editing, but if you need to move the body, feel free to stretch, feel free to adjust, especially because sometimes these things express themselves in the body and you want to allow a little bit of movement there. We'll meditate for 25 minutes, and I encourage you to choose now how long you're going to stay, because if you keep thinking about it during the meditation, guess what? So folks, find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. I hear no more suggestions on the meditation, so this is what we're doing. Find that spot. I'm going to crank up my own volume so I can just grumble into the microphone instead of speaking at a normal human volume. Excuse me. Okay. And when you're ready, we will begin. Where's the mouse? There it is. Okay. Here we go. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. And we have the ability to affect some of that momentum, the momentum of our decisions. So in this moment, by deciding to attend to our current moment experience, we are shaping the future as well as shaping this moment. So as we begin to sweep through the body, to be sure we're not holding any undue tension, really dedicating ourselves to the process. This will amplify the rest of the meditation. So starting at the top of the head, relax the brow. Relax the muscles behind the eyes. Allow the face to go smooth. Relaxing the back of the tongue. Letting the jaw go slack. Relaxing the throat, the neck, shoulders. Relaxing the arms. And as we relax the hands, tuning into this part of the body that is so frequently used to interact with our world. Our hands can be like a portal to the world. In this case, it's the high definition sensations that come in through the hands, tips of the fingers, palms. That is a portal to present moment touch sensation. Letting go of any attempt to control the breath, letting the body breathe as it will. Noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. relaxing the belly and the lower back, the hips and the upper legs, the knees and calves, and relaxing the feet. And for a moment, relaxing the entire body as one collective, tuning into the awareness of our body as a whole. And beginning to tune into our experience of our entire environment, as well as the body, the mind, everything together. Perhaps noticing that when we hold all of it together, it all becomes less detailed and specific, becomes unconditioned. Awareness passes through all experience, breaking it down into a kind of spacious mist. Being sure that we're including our experience of ourself in that mist. If there's any sense of an observer, meditator, letting it be part of the whole. And out of this amorphous space of open awareness, letting a word or quality, an adjective of a way we would aspire to be, we might hope to be, seeing if we can allow intuition to deliver us this word rather than thinking about it. Without trying, just now my mind said the word kind. So just picking some attribute, doesn't have to be the perfect one. It could be kind, it could be open, accepting, or ambitious, emotionally expressive, creative, whatever way of being we'd like to manifest in the future. And without trying to get specific with the mind, without trying to make a clear picture, I'd like you to begin to be aware of that quality as though it were in front of you, allowing it to be vague, part of this soup. Of conscious awareness. Being aware of of this primordial quality, whatever our quality we've chosen is. Letting awareness stay open, not tightening the mind around this quality as it amorphously floats in front of us. Letting awareness stay open, show us more ways that this quality can become itself. Images may flash, emotions and a sense of connection to this quality may flash through the mind. That's fine. We invite those. But we develop stability by letting this open awareness hold this specific, letting it hold this quality. If it supports the process, you can allow the mind to say a word related to this quality. In a sense, the word in the mind is simply labeling this thing which we're aware of in front of ourselves. Over time, we're allowing this quality to feel like a personality, a familiar personality that has these qualities. Helps, we can adjust the body. Sometimes postures can affect our connection with qualities, so perhaps we breathe in a certain way or adjust the posture in a certain way. Perhaps there's a very subtle change in our facial expression that helps us connect with this quality, with this familiar personality. And now without allowing awareness to collapse down, meaning not pointing the mind like a laser, but letting it be more like a lantern. With the mind open in this way, I'd like you to begin to clarify this personality, this familiar being. Let it have qualities that are easy to be in contact with. Let it be gentle and friendly, not alien or estranged. The images don't need to be clear, but its emotional profile, its way of being, is what we're clarifying, what we're familiarizing ourselves with. Of course, it's just like this. For a moment, really heightening, really merging with how familiar this feels. Of course, it's familiar, otherwise we couldn't have contact with it. In a sense, letting it into our being, what we might consider ourself. For a moment, really heightening that familiarity. Course. This is this part's nature, to be this way in the world. With that connection made, seeing and observing this being, this part in front of us, letting it move. Doesn't have to be terribly specific, but the way that it moves, the way that it walks, its subtle gestures, perhaps even feeling those in the body, even allowing the body to move in rhythm with the way this part walks through the world. Manifesting that way of being so innately. In a moment, we're going to make a slight change. And I'd like you to notice what occurs. This is quite important. So let that being that's in front of us, allow it to step back so that it's entering our body, letting us step forward so we're entering its space, as though we were taking on its form. Stepping into that part almost like a space suit or avatar. And when we do this, there will be parts of us that can align with this way of being and parts that cannot. We want to welcome all of them. welcome. As we allow this part to take on the space that our body usually takes on, I'd like you to allow the head to tip down as though you're looking almost as though at your body, but the body is different. The body is now taken on this form. So you may notice your experience mostly as comfortably taking on this form, this quality. You may notice mostly resistance. Or you may notice a kind of turbulence between the two. Whatever that is, I'd like you to be sure to welcome it. What you're experiencing is nature. It's not a problem. In fact, the goal of this practice is less to become this quality than to find this turbulence and welcome it. How might the being that manifests this quality, how might it respond to that turbulence? If it responds negatively, then perhaps finding the aspect of our experience that can welcome the turbulence. What seems like a conflict, recognize it as nature. One of the beautiful, complex contradictions of nature. Welcome, of course. Of course. Of course, this combination of this more idealized quality and my current self experience, my ordinary identity, that can feel like there's a turbulence, but that turbulence itself is also transcendent. It's also empty. It's nature. So welcome its complexity, its beautiful paradox. Once again, allowing a tiny bit of movement in the body, as though this being were walking through space. Which being, the turbulence, the more ideal, manifested self, our ordinary self, it doesn't matter. Could be all three. Might be one new body. From this place, this complexity, taking in our current world. Breathing it in, accepting it. And in particular, accepting and, if possible, enjoying the complexity. Getting to know its extremely unique quality. All complexity is our teacher. It feels turbulent and complex precisely because it has something to show us, to teach us, something we haven't seen or become comfortable with. Welcome, of course. And as this more complex form, maybe several selves, maybe one self, one being, allow a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes. The eyes are closed, eventually allowing them to rest on a single point as they fully open, staying with the practice. Letting the spaciousness of seeing meld with the spaciousness of awareness. Letting these selves, these parts, mix with that open awareness. Letting that complexity be spacious as well. And for a moment resting in the momentum that we've cultivated. And in this way allowing this particular moment to be the great teacher. And shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay. So we'll take a moment to stretch. With these headphones I can never really stretch all the way because they're in the way of my arms. There we go. Make any adjustments you need to allow the body to be comfortable. Oops, sorry about that. And then we enter our reporting ritual. So it is just a goddamn fact that if you write about your experience, even if it's confusing and you're sort of like, I don't know what I just experienced, but it's sort of like this, like the more you can try to articulate that, even though it's weird, this happened, that happened, I got confused at this point, I get lost, this is where I had high contact. It advances and solidifies that meditation. One good way to write about is what was your point of highest clarity, and describe that. That's one of the fastest ways to increase that clarity. So you can do that. You can also jump into our Discord, which is as follows. That is our Discord link. Dave says, does meditation work like gym in some sense? Absolutely. In fact, gym is one of the most commonly used metaphors in meditation. It's like, okay, we're going to do reps. We're going to, repeat this process over and over again. I don't use it because I don't go to the gym. As you can probably tell by my flabby head. I don't know how you could tell. You can't see anything but my head. It's funny, in the world of Zoom now, you meet people and you're like, oh, you're tall, or oh, you're short. Like, you have no idea. It's like, oh. So we're like sort of bodiless in this way. Okay, let's jump into Discord. Where are we here? If you feel at all confused at this moment, like you're really spacing confused, don't push that away. Like, oh, I have to know what's going on in reality right now. let's see. Oops. Okay, here we go. So don't push that away. Let that confusion, sort of like foggy or whateverness, let that be part of the experience. That's how you bring the practice into your life, is you start to see what a friend of mine called the brackish water between meditating and non-meditating. You start to learn to live in this realm. Okay, so let's hear what just Andy says before we jump onto Discord. Just Andy. All right, come on, Stream Manager, open up here. Awesome. Oh, thanks. Okay, Aaron. Oh, it looks like you followed us 3 days ago, Aaron. Thanks for that. That's very kind. Okay, just Andy says the following.
This meditation was a lot more difficult, but I ended up just welcoming the difficulty.
Great.
Think I just had difficulty following and understanding the guide.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the meditation, I had a lot of past memories come up that reminded of the quality I was trying to come into being.
Mm-hmm.
A much more challenging meditation, but it was fun.
Good. Okay. Well, let me know any questions you have about the guidance, because I don't know what was confusing, but I liked it a lot. I'm glad Dave forced me to do it. I really never do manifestation type meditations because honestly, I find the whole field a little bit cheesy. But by forcing myself to do it, I found a way to do it that was, still in the sort of realm of rationality. And I guess it's like, you know what it is? Now that I think of it, there's a part of me that is like, yeah, manifestation, cool. But there's a big part of me that's like, that's ridiculous. That's so dumb. Like, you can't do that. But it's helpful to recognize that's just a part of me. And I don't want that part to rule my life. And I certainly don't want it to rule my teaching. So it's good to see that. It's good to observe that. Oops. My whole table's about to fall. There we go. Okay, Dave is here on Discord. We're going to bring you in, Dave, to chat. Tell me about your experience. You're online.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for this awesome meditation.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for encouraging us to do manifestation. We've never done it before.
Yeah, it was awesome. So my highest clarity was that when I was looking at those qualities that I wanted, it felt like I was so far away from my body, above it. And that's my highest clarity.
Okay, great. And what happened?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, in that moment, you were far away, and then what?
I was like watching at those qualities and seeing them absorbing me.
Great. So there was like an interaction between you and those sort of imagined qualities. And then what happened when we tried to physically merge with those qualities? What occurred for you?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It felt like a sense of being fused with me.
Great. Yeah, that's exactly the goal, is to have see what the relationship is, and then see if there's turbulence and sort of discord between the two, and accept the discord. That was I had turbulence. Like, one part didn't want to accept for some reasons, and I looked at them as well, and I accepted them. Yeah, and that's the key. So, Andy just asked, what does manifestation actually mean? What is the objective? So, manifestation is a field of, I'm answering your question too, Dave. Manifestation is a field of practice where we are intentionally creating a sort of ideal. We're connecting with something more ideal and trying to move in that direction. So a lot of meditation fits into the category of nurture positive. So, for instance, if you're trying to connect with an ideal deity, right, and you're saying, like, please give me guidance, or please, help me feel like I have a place in the world, or help me, see what I need to do next, right? That's just called prayer. That's a normal form of, like, kind of meditation that is, like, assumes you have a deity, assumes there's this connection, assumes you can, interact in that connection. Totally valid, whether you believe or not. Like, it's a valid way to practice. Another way to manifest is you like imagine all the cool riches and cool things you could have in your life and that you want to have in your life, and you like think about those over and over again. And while I don't know that it technically works, like you get those riches, it does tend to focus the mind, and it tends to focus the mind in a direction. So there is a degree to which focusing on a particular thing in the mind over and over and over again tends to shape our experience and tends to shape our drives in that direction. So today we were doing a manifesting practice where we just made an ideal sort of quality and had it be sort of a little bit vague, and then gave it form, let that form be in front of us, let that form come closer, and we made contact with it, the familiarity, we're like, oh, of course, and then started to basically more and more identify with it, and then allowed it to pass into the body, and then notice as it enters the body that quality. For me, it was creative kindness, for whatever in my mind was just like, that's what I want, or that's what it sort of felt was like the direction to go. So it's this sort of creative, kind being, and it sort of was like, oh yeah, I can sense the nature of that being. Its sort of nature is creative and kind, and the way it interacts in the world, and I like let it slide backwards and then move into my body. And then there was this feeling of like turbulence, where it's like some parts like, this is dumb, like what is this? You're not the regular self, there's something wrong here. And I, instead of saying shut up, be quiet, we have this new cool, robot armor that is creative and kind, I accepted the turbulence between the two, because actually what that represents is the other part has a need that feels like it's not being met by this other part. So we don't want to create a new battle between this manifesting universe that we're imagining and our current experience of the present moment. That's often what happens, and people feel like they're not good enough. And it's one reason why, if you look at like social media posts and these things that are like really ideal and everything's really beautiful and perfect, it can feel weird and alienating, like, oh, I want that, but I feel so different and separate from it. We can take on those qualities, but then when the separation occurs, we want to address and like connect with that part that feels separate, and give that part a home, give that part a space, that kind of thing. And that's actually more important than the vision itself. But what it does do is it clears the pathway to feel comfortable to connect with those visions, those kind of things. So one reason why I hesitate to do this stuff, manifestation, is because there's like over and over again, my mind just says, oh my God, this is so cheesy. Oh my God. But the fact is, it helps a lot of people. A lot of people report that it works ostensibly, like whatever works means. It has a function in their life, and it makes them sort of be able to break through various difficulties and that kind of thing. So I forget even if you asked the question, Dave, but that was answering just Andy's question, and maybe that helped clarify a little bit of what we were doing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. Let's see here on Discord. Okay, we got no one else popping in. Dave, I'm going to put you in the audience. Thanks for coming in. And okay, we also have a report here from our very good friend Aaron from Indianapolis, Arizona. Just kidding.
I was focusing on being more accepting. I felt a resistance to that in my belly.
Great.
The resistance felt kind of like an armor protecting me from vulnerability.
That's really good. So again, this is coming to this from an internal family systems theory perspective. So that's good. Like you were able to sort of take on that part, and then B, notice this part that's trying to protect you, that feels like, the tension. If you were able to accept the tension and be like, oh, there's this part that seems resisting, rather than being like, stop resisting, it's like, it doesn't work. Like, it's like, I just think about like these, whatever, like you see these police video things, it's like, stop resisting. It's like, I don't know if that's working, bro. Like, you keep saying that and it doesn't seem to be having the effect that you want. So like, I don't know. And that's what happens, is like, it doesn't resist. The part doesn't resist. So it's like more escalation, more parts come in, these sort of internal cops. And then it's like, oh, I got to tase this part that's not, not paying attention. So this is maybe a leap. So forgive me if this is, this isn't, the clearest thing, but I think that people's ability to do that within themselves and be like, shut up part, like go to hell, like I don't like you, like I'm gonna be tough and I'm gonna be blah, like this part, like good, like shut up, makes that externally much more easy. So you can then act like that towards another human being, because there's this huge level of like self-denial and self sort of conflict internally. So, this is a bit, forgive me if this is too big of a leap, but the premise is there that police brutality and that ability to dehumanize someone else is probably due to an internal like dehumanization, where like the parts of us that are vulnerable, the parts of us that are like human and like frail and like need help and support, people have in many cases in our society stuffed that down, or like beaten that down so hard that it's like this person's confused and vulnerable, like, well, like, of course, like, stop resisting, like, aren't you listening to me? In the same way that someone might argue and say, like, addiction is just it's just a theory, it's not a real thing, like, you're not addicted, like, it's all in your mind. And you can often tell when people, like, I've seen some videos of people like being really adamant, like, addiction is in your mind, like, stop with this idea that you don't have control. You can tell for that person that idea is very important, and they're saying like, addiction is it's in my mind, I have to, because for them they have to believe that. So it's a lot of projection. So you're finding, as manifestation is a way to find parts that resist that. So we could say, let's stuff those parts down, or we could say, let's welcome those parts and realize that they are fully valid as well as our sort of ideal world that we're trying to move ourselves towards in a, if we're doing a manifesting meditation. Okay. Now, this is the moment at which on the stream I would do retroactive clipping, because I was like, that was a good clip. What is this? Okay. Save replay. I don't even know what that did, if that did the thing I'm asking it to do. So that was, we'll see. We'll see if that saved the last few seconds of this clip. If not, then let me see, actually, do we have a timer? Can somebody see on the stream how long we've been streaming? I'm supposed to be saving these things. My editors are telling me, like, save the goddamn things you say that are good. So we'll see. Okay, folks. What was that like? What happened? What do you like now? Any other reports? I got to double check here because I think I have an appointment coming up. I have to check this because I have all these things now that are, I got to go pretty soon. Okay. I think I have to go at noon. Okay. Thank you very much, Muse Dave. Oh, I forgot. Dave's one of the people who's helping us out. Dave's one of the people who's like, tell me when that happens. So that last little bit about that we're talking about manifestation and police brutality, I think is a good clip. Okay. Folks, great. Fun to be here with you and meditate with you. Guess what? We're going to be back here in fewer than 48 hours. Let me check on my schedule right now so I can see next week, because we got holidays coming up, and if you celebrate that kind of thing. Next week, yes, we have a Monday, 100%. Wednesday, probably 100%. Friday, definitely not. Day before Christmas, not happening. My stomach is full on grumble. I'll try to make it. Yeah, great. So we'll be here fewer than 72 hours. So folks, let's listen to some music. How about that? Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so listen to these jamming out. Oh, Monday's my birthday. Hey guys. Okay, we're coming back. I forgot I had an announcement to make. We've been planning this for 2 years now, and it's a big deal. Monday is a birthday of a friend of ours, so I want everyone to be here to wish and to have a full-on happy birthday celebration. So that is something we've been planning for a while. It's a secret, so don't tell, but that's going to be this Monday. So be here or be sphere. Okay, folks, lovely to be here. As always, in this moment, reconnect. This is one of the nice things about the manifestation. I can feel those qualities of that being in my body now easily and quickly. That's one of the reasons we do these manifestation kind of things. We can connect with those qualities right away more easily. I encourage it highly. Repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So in this moment, connect with those qualities of that being, of those ideal experiences. And go ahead and feel those and any resistance, any turbulence that's arising in this particular moment in relationship to those things. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Good suggestion. I'm glad that you were suggesting that for like weeks. You're like, come on, let's do this thing. And I was like, I don't know about that. Do this thing. I don't know. But for that, you get an extra Illuminati burst. Okay, that's Dave's foresight, broken into a million atoms of foresight. So, folks, great to see you. Great to be here with you. As always, practice well. Take care of each other. Have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon.